This conference will now be recorded.
All right, I got one job. I'm starting on the board. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ah, here's Laura. I could have waited like 7 more seconds.
I already have it in there. I'll do this real quick. Although as we gather this day to do the important business of the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
Amen. All right, on behalf of Mayor Mike Barata, I'm gonna head this meeting this evening. We're gonna start out with public comment. Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, we have the department heads report. Department heads. Nobody's here tonight. I don't have anything for DPW or code enforcement or fire. So moving right along. We have next bump the budget. I'm gonna have Rodney explain this.
So this is just for insurance recovery money. Who's got it? Who's got the floor? Owego Fire Department. So they're just bumping the budget for money they receive back from the insurance company. Makes sense.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right. Is there any discussion on this? Guess we will vote. We can vote, right? We have Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and yes. Then we have the return of unpaid village taxes. We have Rodney explain this also.
So this is the money that we did not collect during the year. They have a certain cutoff date, November 15th. So we add up all of what's due us, we send it to the county, and in March, they send it back to us. And so we want to collect $250,437.58. And we also get a penalty, they give us penalties amount of $15,000. And we do this every year. And like I was explaining, most of the money is really unpaid sewer bills. So when the money comes in, the taxes, pretty much we've collected all the taxes. So most of the money goes right to the sewer department, which is a nice chunk for them.
Sounds good.
Motion on that.
I'd like to make a motion on that.
I'll make a motion on that.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll vote. Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and yes. Yep, we got payment of the bills. We got a motion for that. Everybody look over the bills.
No, that's
Oh,
not
that's good.
exactly.
I have it in my email.
You sent them out.
Yeah, I have my email.
That's this, right?
This is for November, right?
Yeah.
Submit it.
Actually, should be for December. Well,
December?
we did the bills in November, so November.
For November, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the payment of bills for November.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, we can vote. Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and yes. All right, so moving right along.
And the treasurer's report for October, and show plans, we've got the latest update on the, this is the balance on the Doris Edwards account. And we've split out the old sewer down here to two, they used to be combined. So
Yeah,
now
we're
that's
exempt
split
here,
up.
yeah. Yeah, I'll make a motion, we accept the bank statement for October of
I'll second
2023.
that.
Second by Dave.
Second.
Dave?
Any discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes,
Ed,
Yes.
and
One thing I want to point out, at the next meeting, I think we'll have a bond resolution. We're going to borrow $3 million for the DRI. I started the paperwork with the attorneys and bonding agents and all that kind of stuff, so. Right now, they owe us $1 million, which is out of our funds at the moment. And so there's another $4 million, no, another $3 million due. So by the time that's being, we'll need that like March or April of next year, we'll have the money to pay those bills. And by that time, the money that was owed us, maybe has that come in, so. We're only gonna, instead of borrowing $4 million, we're gonna borrow $3 million. And the money that I get, I'm gonna invest, we'll get the interest on that until we need it, until whatever it's gonna be, it could be, say $100,000, but we'll have some interest on that we're gonna gain, so. Better than being $4 million and, oh, we can't really cover that. But that'll be next time, you'll have a whole package of that.
promising. All right, we got the minutes, and we're looking at two, one from November 6th and one from November 20th. So we'll take care of the November 6th first. Anybody have anything to?
So for November 6th, I just sent my corrections for my section, like, within the last half hour. So I can read them to you if you'd like, or I think for those, I wasn't the only one who had
Right.
things that wanted to get corrected.
Just send them.
Okay, so those are sent, and but like
We'll hold off until next.
yeah, it wasn't just me that needed stuff, but so if we can hold off on those. The minutes of
November 20th.
November 20th, I would propose we approve those as submitted. I motion to approve those.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Any other further discussion on that?
What about the line about the sewage pipes to the nursing home? Like, did we want it to say that, or do we want it to be slightly different? Like, you have them right there? When we talked about,
I don't have a copy.
okay, so well, it's page 3, and like after we talked about getting a new generator for the pump house over on the Fifth Ave, we talked about like why we keep needing new generators, and it's because like the pipes, keep getting stuffed up. But we were gonna have like a conversation about it, but like, I don't know, is that okay, how it's worded?
Is that where I put in you were gonna have a talk with the review man?
Yeah,
Well,
that's okay.
I didn't say that we talked to him, I just said you're gonna have a talk.
Yeah, that's cool, right? Okay, all right, so let's say that's,
It's the actual pump that's getting clogged and burning the pumps out. Is that what's happening there?
All right.
Yeah, they're putting, I'm not saying who they are, but somebody's putting down stuff in this stuff that's not going through the
not disclosing.
Lead
pipes.
yeah.
They're putting wipes in there, but also they said they found
Yeah.
bottles,
Yeah,
all kinds of.
solid things.
Conversation with a version that fails, might be to our benefit to put some sort of filter.
No, I saw this is
Trap
interesting.
before the pump.
I saw the other day at a store, it says flushable wipes now. Do they have such a thing?
They all say that, but you really
Yeah,
should.
it
Oh,
shouldn't be
okay.
fun.
It says in the
Just-
fine print on the back
Don't, yeah, I just, I go, oh, they should
that
use
you
this.
really shouldn't flush them down.
Yeah, you shouldn't flush any of those down.
It's very misleading.
Yeah, so, you know, if you look at it, you say, oh,
Yeah.
I should tell these guys about that. It's
Ed, did you
So
have
that's
anything
fine.
to add to that?
What was that?
Did you have anything to add to that? No?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
don't flush your wipes.
Thank you for
Good
clarifying
advice.
that, Edward.
Don't flush the flushable.
All right, so I guess we can vote on the acceptance of the November 20th minutes. Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Ed,
I'm going to abstain because I believe I missed that one.
okay. And you have a yes for me. All right,
Did we got minutes for the special meeting? We could do those now too.
Yeah, I sent them, I don't think I printed them, but I sent them. You get it back?
We got them,
Yeah, I'm having trouble.
I
the
received it.
next day.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
want to read it, it was only like a paragraph.
Sure, I'll read them.
Read 'em.
So we had the Village of Owego Board of Trustees held a special meeting on Monday, November 27th at 7:30 PM in this boardroom. Dave Farrell, Rusty Fuller, Ed Morton, Charles Plater, Laura Spencer, Fran Van Housen, Mayor Beretta, and Attorney Van Wy were here. The meeting was called to order 7:36. We went into a attorney info client session, and then the meeting was adjourned at 10 PM. And so those are the minutes for the special meeting. I motion to approve them as submitted.
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussion on that? Okay, we'll vote. Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and yes. All right. So we have trustees report next. Laura, you want to start us off?
Yes. So tonight we were hoping to vote on the amended contract for Julie Nucci. Nate, can you say what those things are, the amendments to the contract? It was supposed to be on the agenda, but it didn't get on.
Can you say that again, Laura?
The Julie Nucci's consulting contract, the amendments to her contract, there was like small things from that, when we approved it, that you guys had discussed, but we didn't take paperwork off
Right.
when we approved it. So we were looking to have those small things added now and then approve that amended contract. Okay.
Yep.
Wait,
Sorry.
it's all right. I can't remember the exact details,
Children there.
but yeah, there was something about the travel payment and
Yeah, it was travel attendance at conferences, seminars, things like that, and removing reference to I'm just going to call it dishes, the Department of Homeland SES. I forget what the rest of the acronym is, but it's a state agency. Removal of services related to that because those can't be reimbursed. Those have to be something separate. So yes, I circulated a draft to the mayor, Julie, and Cindy on Wednesday, November 29th. That seemed to reflect what the mayor and Julie had talked about to clarify those issues. I made those changes, circulated it. The board should, I think, approve, if they're so inclined, approve the amended agreement as it was circulated on November 29th to the mayor and the clerk's office.
Thank you. Okay, so I motion we approve the amended contract that was circulated on November 29th with the attorney and the mayor and the office.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
you ever seen it? You ever seen it?
I'll second.
No, have you seen it? Have you seen the,
Have you seen the changes?
She just mentioned.
She just,
He
okay,
just
they
mentioned.
just said do travel.
Okay, so out of the travel is, what's that mileage expense? Is that what travel is all about?
Yeah, so it's getting paid for the, reimbursed for mileage when you're traveling to things and like a reduced rate for your work when you're not getting paid your full rate when you're traveling. So it's like that normal stuff that
Ms. Nucci would be, so her services, she's charging the village $75 an hour. That's actually a discount off of what she will be charging other clients of hers. She's doing it as a courtesy to the village. She's agreeing to charge half time for travel time. So half of the 75, 37.50 for travel time. She doesn't anticipate a lot of travel time, a lot of attendance and things at conferences, seminars, education things will be remote is the anticipation. She's also required to get prior approval from the mayor if she wants to go somewhere to attend a thing. So we've got that kind of guardrail in the event that she suddenly wants to go to a conference in Cancun, whatever that might be.
Now, will that also include overnight stays, housing? You know, like for hotels?
Yes, it would be expenses relating to that potentially. And again, that's where I think the mayor is the guardrail on something like that. She won't be allowed to charge the village unless the mayor approves the attendance there. And so at the end of the day, I think the question is whether you trust the mayor to appropriately reject any very odd sounding attendance requests like that.
Okay, thank you.
so all of this was brought, forward to the mayor, he's aware of all of this?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I don't wanna do anything I'm gonna get in trouble for.
Nate, was there a cap on the housing cost?
Uh,
Expenditures?
No, there's no current cap. The rather I should say the cap is the $25,000 in the calendar year or whatever the term of the year was. That is the maximum amount that she could charge the village. That's inclusive of everything. I do know Julie sent an email indicating she expected to not reach that amount even for this current year that we're in that she's currently not have a contract for. She thinks it'll be like 20 or 22,000, I think.
So did we have a second for that?
We did.
We did?
David,
Okay, and that was the discussion, okay. So with that, everything is safe, we can vote. Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Yes.
Fran, Ed,
Yes.
and yes.
So let's see. The next thing we had our hazard mitigation plan update, our last one, our fourth one, last Thursday, and it went really well. And our next hazard mitigation planning update, we're canceling the next one that was scheduled for this coming Thursday because the county doesn't have their release yet for their section of the plan. And so once we get that, we'll have our portion to work on. So we have to wait, and it's probably going to be delayed about a month or so. So we'll schedule that meeting when we know that we can. So we're still like working diligently at getting more into that. I'd like to hear from the fire department and the EMS about their needs to include more of what they want into it, what they need when, you know, if there is a response, what do they need to plan for it? What could they use better in their response? And that we can include all that stuff in our plan. Then when they apply for grants and stuff, it'll be in here and easier for, you know, all around for everybody to get included for like small projects separate and then for these big projects long term. So, I definitely want to hear about that. Julie couldn't
Laura,
be here.
can I ask?
Yep.
Now, in the plan, will they include evacuation routes?
Yep, so that's all the stuff that we're trying to include. It's like figuring out what's our best action on planning evacuation routes, emergency shelters, warming centers.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah. Backup batteries and communications. Yeah, so, yeah.
Displacement, everything.
Yeah, so we can talk, it's big time stuff that we're doing, right? So it's talking about making memorandums of agreement with different companies, like say for big snowstorms when we want to plow, but maybe we don't have to contract with the state. We could maybe go over to Lapkey and have them assist us. So if we have pre-made plans, we could maybe save money and we can come up with like our, well, the biggest thing we identified was that we're addressing is emergency response and having, improving that, controls when it's happening. And so, and then for after, and like, that's for severe storms and for flooding. So, like a debris management plan is a huge thing because it would cost us so much money if we don't already have a plan to divide out all the trash. If we do it right, we can get paid back for it, and if we don't, it's a huge mess that we can't stand. So we have to be prepared for it, and so this is getting contracts and things ready, and then we'll be able to talk with different community organizations that have buildings where they can be shelters for people as warming centers or just to have electricity. It's talking about where do we have emergency control to run operations that's separate of where residents are. And maintaining all of our critical infrastructure, identifying what they are for just the maintenance of continuity of government, and then also our records and getting everybody back running again. Department working on that plan.
Yeah.
They'll be the lead department.
So I mean, maybe contracting with different waste management companies as far as what kind of contract we would have as far as what it would cost and that type of thing.
Yeah, they'll talk all about it. Jeff Winchell is like a state educator for emergency service management. Like he goes out and gives like training sessions for different people, and we just happen to also have him working on ours. So he's got a lot of that in there, and we can have him help do it. And he's helped us in the past during the big flood. So we already have some things you know, we're not like, we're set up, but he's the one identifying that we need to work on that. So it's included.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we're really working hard at getting everything we can into that. Something I found today to include was, I thought, pretty exciting. So because we were declared a Cedars community, that's like a critical disaster resilience zone. I think is a C for that. And then the BRIC funding, then we can work with HUD, the Housing and Human Development Agency, has this green and resilient retrofits program, which provides loans and grants to HUD-assisted rental housing to make it more energy efficient and safer in the face of natural disasters and healthier for residents. So this would include, like, you can typically find some funding for residents that are like it's their primary residence, or businesses, but people who live in rentals and stuff and low income have a really hard time finding assistance to programs for keeping warm. Yeah, keeping warm in the winter with their heat, and getting like air conditioners and having electricity and their bills paid to run them when it gets hot in the summer, when there's extreme temperatures. And this is all like planning for the future, that like we have to, we're finding ways to get these services to the people who are going to need them the most. And so this would include more of the people that we're trying to reach in our program. So that was cool. The Climate Smart Communities Task Force met on November 27th, and that was a good meeting. We had a presentation from Jack Heidi from FEMA, and he went over all kinds of the BRIC pre-disaster funding, so that we could understand like how we go about getting the funds and what programs, how we get direct technical assistance, and capacity building, capability, and just further assistance. So that was a really good informative meeting. On Thursday, Julie and I will meet with DEC for the Climate Smart Communities budget. We're trying to finish getting that together, but we're the first ones applying, and the state is moving over from the Grants Gateway program into this, adding like another statewide financial way that like you get money through grants and stuff. So they're starting like a series of webinars for that. So like we probably can't expect the money to start rolling in for a while, because they're still setting up like training for people to know how to approve the budgets and stuff. So we're probably going to be watching the training videos at the same time as the people who are going to approve it for us. December 13th, Julie, Mick, and Jason Fenn, who is our FEMA region coordinator, will all have a meeting to talk about the one remaining CAP violation with Weitzman, just so it'll be on its way to getting settled.
Has anything further been mentioned about that? Because I remember
I've heard good things, that there've been like official paperwork shared with the code office so that they understand what parts have been ordered and sort of a timeline for the work to be completed.
So Mick emailed me. I think it was today. He said that Weitzman did submit the building permit and floodplain applications. So that's in process, like Laura indicated. But the formal applications have themselves actually been submitted. So that's what we were looking for.
So what I had mentioned in the last meeting we had, that was actually true? That he's moved forward?
Yes, they were recently submitted. So after the last meeting, before this meeting, so just like a day or two ago. But it's thankfully in progress and looks like it's going to be remediated.
Yeah, wonderful.
Just want to not be the bearer of false information. I'm sorry, you can continue, Laura.
That's gonna be 10 a.m. December 13th. And then Nate and Rusty and I are gonna meet the next day, Thursday, December 14th, 3 p.m. for the storage container law. And I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Laura, for all your insight and research and time spent on getting this information for us. Dave, anything
I
else?
have nothing tonight.
Okay. Brent?
Things are pretty quiet with the cemetery and, nothing to report on EMS, either. Yeah, I attended that, meeting, last week with Laura and it was a great response. There were, I'd say 4 or 5, community individuals, you know, that have nothing to do with, either the village or whatever, and very productive meeting.
Outstanding. That's it?
Yep.
Ed, you got anything for us?
One thing, and I don't know why, but your feed is your camera's turned off.
Oh, where's the camera thing? Is this it? I can't see that far. Camera.
So
You're back?
I met with there you go, you're back. I met with Doyle Gibbs and Robin Linneberry several months ago, back in maybe August, about their desire to purchase or have transferred from the village of Owego the Woodlawn Ave extension that runs between their two properties. I'm not sure where we stand on that, but I think we need to take some action because they've requested it, and I've been up there, and I think Rusty's been up there, and I know there was some research done at the village office about whether we possess the deeds for that property. It's essentially a 90-foot long, plot of land that goes between their two properties. At the end of Woodlawn Ave, it's curbed off and it's grass. There's no way that we would enter uh, that extension without doing major structural work. There is also an entrance to the property that's behind it from Montrose Turnpike. So I'd like to see if we could move forward on that. I don't know what the procedure would be, but I would like to move that we transfer that piece of property to Gibbs and Linneberry, and I don't think we need to have any compensation for it. They've been maintaining it for years. So I would ask for Nate's opinion on that.
Yep. So I've actually just been running into this with a couple other clients, and Ed, the issue is mainly that for us to transfer any ownership rights, we need to have a deed into the village. And so currently we haven't been able to find a deed into the village. And so to the extent that the village owns anything, the village would go through an abandonment process for the roadway itself. And then the rights revert to whatever New York state law says about ownership of the road bed itself. So the owners of all of the properties surrounding the road extension might likely end up owning into the middle of the roadbed, whoever those neighboring properties actually are. But that's what happens if we don't have a deed into the village. Um, so it's
Yeah, I believe the development was done in 1956, and there is no deed to the village for the roadways. So I don't know what we do about that.
yeah. So that without a deed into the village, then that suggests or that indicates right that the subdivider retained the ownership rights of the roadway of the road bed itself. And so there's nothing really for the village to do other than just formally abandon the roadway.
So how would we go about doing that if that's the case?
Yep, I'm actually doing it for another client right now who's also a village. For villages, it's very simple. We pass a resolution, schedule a public hearing, hold a public hearing on the question of the abandonment, and then just adopt the resolution, call it a day. And that'll just be
Okay.
up to the neighboring property owners to determine who actually has rights to that roadbed.
Right. All right. So I would like to propose that we schedule a public meeting to do that, and then we can have it on record, and we can either abandon it or not. But I would like to. I'll make a motion that we schedule a public hearing to review this abandonment of the Gibbs Linneberry rights to the extension of Woodlawn Avenue.
Ed, could we go with maybe January 8th for the public hearing? Because that'll give me time to put a public hearing notice together and just ask again to the clerk's office, like, are we sure we don't have a deed?
Yep, sounds good.
I'll second that.
All right, is there any further discussion on that? If not, we'll vote on that. Laura,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and yes,
It's January 8th,
January 8th.
and it's like a public hearing for like 7 p.m.
That's all for me.
That's all you got? Okay. I myself have nothing for DPW or fire board. Just want to say that Santa is finally in town. The mayor has successfully flipped the switch. The lights are on the bridge and on the tree. Fireworks went off with a blast, and the town showed up for great nights on the river, and it did not rain on our parade. So it sounds like a success to me. That's all I have for that. Communications, let me handle that. I don't have any communications other than communicating with the public. Mayor's report. I guess he'll give us his rendition when he returns the next meeting, if there's anything that he needs to relate to us. That leaves public comment.
Well, first of all, Laura, did you get that email from that woman about George Street? She sent it to you and all the planning board members.
I think I got, what was it about?
Something about the business next door.
Oh, yes, yes, I got
Right,
that.
so I didn't get a hold of her because I didn't know what to tell her, and I don't know if anybody else did, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I got that. We received somebody complaining about their neighbor's house having a lot of business or cars
Well,
activity.
it's taxi.
Yeah,
They'll go taxi.
so I guess, yeah, we'll have to take a look at it more closely. I did read it.
That'll be a matter for code enforcement.
Well, she was questioning the zoning of it, but I looked it up. According to the county records, it's zoned residential and commercial use. That property. But I don't think there's any residents there anymore. Because they had that fire,
Right.
and I think there's just a garage there for the cats. I don't know if there's anybody living there, so.
I guess we'll make a notation of that and do some research and we will revisit that.
And I had a question about the lights on the river.
The what?
Lights in the river.
Lights on the river, yeah. Who was doing the traffic control, directing traffic?
Besides what, we had police,
Fire police.
Fire
does the
police?
traffic.
The fire police?
Fire
Yeah.
police does.
Because I had some people complaining to me that they were trying to get down Front Street to go to the Legion, and they were stopped at Page Street, told they could not go down to the Legion.
maybe somebody was misinformed. Or, I don't know.
They couldn't go down Church Street, and they couldn't go down Main Street, couldn't go down Page Street.
No, Church Street was closed.
I know, yeah, I know that was,
And for some reason, they had parts of Main Street, or not, yeah, parts of Main Street by the library had no parking signs, parts of Page Street from
maybe somebody was overzealous and not wanting vehicles to enter
had
that
no
area.
parking signs there too.
Hmm.
But I think they finally towed that car.
Yes,
Told
they
the
did.
car from
Yeah.
Page.
Yeah, it's not there.
Yeah.
They had signs up the day before.
Yeah.
And I wondered myself, and then, yeah, the car's no longer there.
But I was just, people were asking me, like, I don't know, I wasn't even in town.
I don't know if it was towed, or it was moved, or pushed.
Well, they were
Or
asking
what?
me because they couldn't, they were trying to get down to the Legion, to park at the Legion. They had business to do at the Legion, and then they were gonna go, and they weren't allowed to get down there to even park at the Legion. So,
We will look into that.
Well, they couldn't have anybody really go there once, because they couldn't get as far as Front Street, so they just have to go down and turn around, so they gotta block it someplace.
Normally they'd let people through to, like, residents to park at
Yeah.
their own houses.
Yeah.
But I think they might be like, well, the Legion is a place where they're having alcohol and different things, right? And like that people might want to just be parking there otherwise. And so,
where'd they have it alcohol down there?
right, but like, they usually allow people.
Well, they do a drawing down there on Friday nights. They get trying to get to the drawing,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't get to the drawing.
Yeah,
Well, I
usually
hate
people
to-
are allowed to go through if they live there and they're parking off the street. And
Yeah.
that, I think, probably is why they ran into trouble.
Yeah, I hate to speculate, but there's probably somebody coming down and they probably had a bunch of people trying to park in that area before, so they just probably just,
I just,
Nipped it
the
in the
question
bud.
to me about it, I said, I'll ask at the meeting tonight, but.
Yeah.
I don't
so
have
somebody
anything to do with it.
legitimately needing to park
I
there,
just sit at the
kinda
meeting
got
and
caught up
listen.
in the web.
And occasionally complain.
Oh, somebody did share that there was a sewer thing
Yeah,
full.
there was something full, it wasn't sure if it was a catch basin or
Yeah, one of the dry wells.
dry wells,
Yeah, so that was on East Main by the Turtle Town,
yeah,
the old Turtle Town daycare.
it was a new, lake in the country, something like that.
Yeah.
Better known as Turtle Town Lake.
There they go.
It's the original Turtle Town of the Turtle Town area that we call.
Yeah.
It's how it's got its name.
So once the
Apparently.
turtles there. Cool. Thank you, Mike. And if we don't have any other matters, then I adjourn.
You could be the mayor next.
7:47.
All right, call the end of this meeting. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Ed.
Good night, guys.
You guys.
All right.
Thank you.